Hello and welcome to Skinterviews. I am one of your two hosts. My name is George Scandalis, and this is
Nathan Strong.
How's it going, Nathan?
Very good, mate. I tell you what, my hair is getting very, very long.
You're starting to look like an 80s news anchor. You're going to have to invest in some hair gel and hairspray. We're going to have to slick it all back.
I know. It's this isolation is getting the better of me in the hair department, I think.
I think we should shave your head on Skinterviews.
Well, it could be an option. I'd be up for it.
I mean, who would have to come on our show for you to shave your head?
Oh, you know what? Maybe this next guest's husband.
Oh, well, so he's my crush. I totally crush on these two guys. Their clinic is by far one of the most amazing practices. I love their way they operate. I love their staff, and I totally crush on them. Like, I don't even try to hide it. I show favoritism to them throughout the whole, out of everyone I know, and everybody knows it because they're just so genuine, so real. Their staff is amazing. Their office manager is amazing. I've developed great relationships with them throughout the years, and I'm really excited to have one half of them on, and I'm not going to let the other half get away. I'm going to keep trying until I get him on the show. But tonight, we have his wife, who's got quite the personality, and I'm really excited to have her here because she's going to have a lot to say. She's active on social media. We've recently just watched a video of her, which we're going to talk about in the show, where she does one of those TikTok videos, you know, like the switch. She does this whole little makeover, and she's got a lot to offer. Plus, it is widespread known she's got the best shoe game in the industry. No one competes.
I must add to that. She knows how to dance in those shoes too.
Oh, well, I've heard you were dancing with her on a beach before.
I was, and
I'm a little nervous. They don't bring me because they know I crush on them. So without further ado, please welcome to the show, Dr. Julie Khanna, plastic surgeon from ICLS Dermatology and Plastic Surgery, and one half of the Sisterhood of the Scalpel. Welcome.
Thank you. It's the first time I was introduced as Chattel's wife. I usually like to refer to him as my husband. So it's all right. There's always a first.
Should we do it all over again?
We're good.
We're good? Well,
It's new. We'll try something different.
How are you?
I am so good. I'm in quarantine. I'm talking to you guys.
Wait a second. Are you in isolation in a champagne room? What is that?
Cheers to that.
Wait. Yes, maybe. But that I'm not going to talk about because that's Chattel's thing.
Okay.
And he needs to tell you about it because that's his world. But it's the only quiet corner I could find in the house. That's why I'm in. I had to ban everyone else to another corner. It's quarantine, but it's a full house. So I had to hide.
Well, if we go on second version of isolation, I may sneak and move into the champagne room for a few months.
It's not a bad room. It's not a bad room. I agree.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers to you guys. Thank you for inviting me. It's very kind of you.
Here. So let's get right into it because I know you've got a lot to say about what's going on in our current situation. You're working on a whole slew of like big charity things, a bunch of different projects, and we're going to learn all about that. But before we get to know all of your professional stuff, I want to take you right back to the beginning and get to know you in a personal way that led you up to who you are today. So we're going to go back to day zero.
Okay.
You enter into this world, you take your first breath, and your parents name you your full name.
Okay, well, this is a trick question.
Okay.
First of all, really important piece of information. Born to immigrant parents, 9 months after they arrived on July 1st. Their first baby is born in Canada on July 1st. So my name, Julie, is because the nurses wanted to name me Victoria or Elizabeth, something, appropriate. And they said, well, she's born in July. We'll give her a Canadian name. So that's how I got Julie, because some people think I changed it. I didn't change that one. Here's the truth. I actually was born, and this sounds terrible. My first name was Gholie, Ouri.
Ghouri.
Ouri. So
Was
it
that
was
Julie?
that name, Julie, and that name is Gory.
That's how it's actually pronounced, Gory.
Well, it's Gory or Gory, but it's Gory. And they didn't know that. They didn't know. It's a nice Indian name. It means very beautiful in Hindi. They didn't know. And
I'm laughing at the fact that your name is Gory and you're a plastic surgeon. I'm just picturing you in there. This is Gory. Yes,
I know. So I was about 17 when I graduated from high school, and the only time it ever came up, because no one ever used it, it was always Julie Khanna, Julie Khanna, Julie Khanna. They were announcing scholarships, and I didn't hear my own name because they used my first name. And I said, oh, that is not happening. And the next day I said, for my graduation gift, I want my first name to be Julie. So we got rid of Gory and we changed it to Julie Jasmina because my mom's name is Mina. So we made it Julie Jasmina.
Amazing.
So there's how it started.
Now, you said your parents emigrated to Canada. Where did they emigrate from?
Okay, well, people never guess. And I'm a purebred. I'm not even a mutt. But people give me Italian, Mexican, Lebanese, Spanish, everything. I am Indian.
100%. Amazing.
100%.
So your parents
no mix, no nothing.
Your parents come here. You are born. Are you the oldest of your siblings?
I am.
So all the other kids. And how many siblings do you have?
I have two. I have a sister and a brother, baby brother. Still a baby brother.
And now you've got a family of your own. So how many children do you have?
You ask trick questions, George. Biologically, it sounds like it's straightforward, but it's not. Biologically, I gave birth to 2.
Okay.
But I have 5.
Okay. Is that your whole family?
That's my family.
Oh,
so my 2 boys, my eldest is my son, Rishi. He just finished his MBA just last month at Ivy. Number 2 is sitting beside me is my daughter, Rocky. She is a master in communications. She's director of communications of a company called Dark Slope. That's a virtual reality company. Number 3 is wearing the white sweater. That's Priya. She is a chief resident in Harvard in internal medicine. Number 4 is my son, who's in law school at Western. And my baby girl is Dia, who's in her undergraduate at Laurier. And that is my whole family.
You guys are a good-looking family.
I'm very lucky. I have amazing kids.
Congratulations. Congratulations. And I, you know what? You don't even have to say it. I can hear the pride in your voice when you talk about them and their successes in life. That's amazing.
You know what? They're crazy. They're too loud because living with 4 out of 5 of them is crazy. But they're good souls. They're great souls. It was a blessing. It was a tragic event that made us have 3 more children, but it was a blessing. It was a blessing. It's kind of cool.
Nice silver.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Wouldn't have it any other way.
So tell us about elementary school and growing up in Canada.
Well, you're not, Nathan, you're so young. You're not going to remember this. When I grew up in Mississauga, of all places, we were the only Indian family in the school. And there were no brown people in the school except for us. And it was hard. It was difficult. I had nice, good friends. I had initially grown up in North York in a Jewish community, and it's a little more ethnic. So it was, everything was cool, right? Toronto was more cool. Mississauga was very hard. And I got bullied a lot because I was the elder one. Grade 8, grade 7, I got beaten up by 3 girls because I was brown. I also had glasses, acne, braces, kind of, was roughing it. And I got beat up, and it was, in retrospect, it was a life-changing event. And I grew up in a house that always said nonviolence. And I didn't understand what to do. And what I realized later is never start a fight. you're welcome to end it, but don't ever start it. That's my rule with my kids. I never expect anyone to start one, but don't let yourself get in that situation. But it was good because I decided that, you know, if I was smarter than them, how could they pick on me? And I was a good student. I became a much better student after that. So it was a good thing, you know, even that.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear you went through such a terrible situation like that, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger as well on the other side. And I love that you've taken the positive from it. I've got some photos here of you growing up. I'd love you to talk us through those photos here.
Okay, well, I was trying to find a baby picture, and we had a great one of me at 4 or 5 in a doctor's uniform, but nobody can find it. My dad's really mad because he knew where it was. Somebody took it out of the photo album, so he's mad at all of us now. But this is my baby sister and I. I'm probably about 4.5 on that one. And then I'm probably about in my very, very cool outfit and my buck teeth and, you know, the usual. I was probably about 6 or 7 years old there,
Cool.
growing up in Willowdale.
Yeah. So you say you were dressing up as a doctor at a really young age. So was that always the plan for you?
Yeah. So I think I started saying I was going to be a doctor like some ridiculous age of 4.
Wow.
And the picture was funny because somebody had given me a nurse's kit and I didn't want it. And I don't think I knew what a nurse was. All I knew was what a doctor was. Like, and it wasn't meant to be a bad thing. It was just like, no, I want to be a doctor. And the reason I wanted to be a doctor is I got allergy shots. So I would see my pediatrician every week. You know, back then that's what they did. And I was in love with him. He was amazing. And he was the kindest and the sweetest. And he got more Christmas presents than anyone I have ever known in my life, still to date. So the motivation was purely greed, that I wanted that many Christmas presents because Dr. Snelling got all the Christmas presents. And I kept saying, I'm going to be a doctor like Dr. Snelling. And that's what I kept saying. And then I think I was about 12. And again, showing my age, the only television show with medicine was MASH. So you were either going to be a psychiatrist or a surgeon. And I knew already I was not cut for psychiatry. So at 12, I said, I'm going to be a surgeon. And I never changed my mind.
That's amazing.
So have doctors always been your heroes growing up?
I really didn't have a lot of doctors in my life. So other than MASH and my doctor, Dr. Snelling, who was awesome, I didn't have any. I was the first, believe it or not, in an Indian house, I was the first doctor. But I grew up where really my grandmother said to my dad when I got into medical school, his mom said, why doesn't she just marry a doctor? Like they didn't get it. You know, they didn't get it. And my mom and dad, you've got to give them credit. They're first generation. And I was a girl, the first child is a girl. And they pushed and pushed. And they told all of us, you have to get a professional degree. That's what we grew up with that. And they got it. They got me and they got 2 lawyers. I'm like, how did you do that? I would love to do that. But how did they do that? I have no idea. So I got to give them credit.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And that's why I love Canada. I feel like immigrants come here, they work hard, and it's a country where if you work hard, like I'm an immigrant as well, obviously, you can do really well in this country. And we're so lucky to be here. We really are. So tell me, growing up, any funny stories you'd like to share with us today?
Growing up?
Yeah. Or a funny story in your adult life if you want to skip.
Well, growing up, I was a little bit of a prankster.
Yeah.
I used to torture my siblings, my sister in particular. So we had 2 twin beds, and she'd be on this bed, and I'd be on this bed, and I would get out at night after mom and dad said goodnight. I'd crawl on the floor. I had the patience, like you wouldn't believe. I'd inch all the way, not even to the middle between us, to the far side, and grab her, and then run back. Or if I heard my mom say, go downstairs and get something, and I knew she was afraid, I'd go down first, and I'd stand by the light switch and wait till she grabbed for the light switch.
Oh,
just get it.
So she still hasn't forgiven me. But I would never miss an opportunity to do that.
You would get on well with my wife. She does exactly that. She still does that to me and even our children.
Oh, I love it. I used to love. Oh, how old is your daughter, Nathan?
My oldest is almost 4 and my youngest has just turned 1.
I missed this. Do it next year. You know what I did to them on April 1st when they were little? You freeze the Cheerios in a bowl and then sprinkle a couple extra ones on the top and put the spoon in it. So when they go to eat their Cheerios, the whole thing comes out. Or they had a school uniform. I did a loose stitch in the mid thigh so they couldn't get their pants on. Couldn't figure it out why. Like I used to just try anything just to be silly.
Oh wow.
Talk to me about your experiences of growing up and relationships. Who was your first love, let's say?
Wait, George, you missed the whole part. Indian, first generation, first child. Okay, yeah. What does that mean? That means
straight to marriage.
No dating, arranged marriage. That's what it meant, right? And so I kept saying to them, I'm too busy. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. I'm too busy. You know, and then when I called them about I had met Chantel, my mother's response was, I thought you were busy in medical school. So it was, I kind of, everything was quietly done aside. And yeah, we don't want any photographic evidence of any of that. We're not going to talk about it.
So Chantel was always the one, right from day one. You knew?
Oh, God, no. No, everyone told me he was bad. He was a really bad boy. He had a bad reputation, couldn't go on certain wards. I just went, oh no. He'll tell you a totally different story. He doesn't remember meeting me the first time because he came to clinic, and this is foreshadowing, you know, how I ended up in plastics. I never was going to be a plastic surgeon, never. It was not in the books. Everything in my life kept telling me, in retrospect, you realize everything was pushing me towards plastics, and I just kept ignoring it. So I met him. I was a medical student on plastics, and I was in the skin cancer clinic with the derms. And I was a medical student, and he's much, much, much older. He was the chief resident. So I'm there. He comes in late, and so he shows up late to clinic. I've been there, and I'm like, what kind of jerk shows up late to clinic? I'm like impressionable, young, keen medical student. Anyways, he's like, oh, you know, Dr. Jackson, too many women, too little time. I'm like, oh, what a jerk. And that's what my first memory was of him. And then he was supposed to teach the medical school students and wasn't very good. Anyways, fast forward a few months, he's going to tell you he saw me. We used to have a lounge, and back then you could do beer and pizza on Friday nights in the resident lounge. And he'll tell you that he saw me there, and he turned to his buddy and said, I'm going to marry her. And he thought that was the first time he saw me. Little did he know, he'd already seen me. So I don't believe him.
I love that.
Correct him.
I love how you've got him there early. You've got him there early now. We will correct him.
Was there ever a celebrity crush growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Who's
like this week? Like pick your. Okay, my biggest prize, longest running run might have been Shamar Moore, and then I met him. So I kept saying he was a hall pass. Chantel never expected me to meet him. I meet him, and we got to go on the set of Criminal Minds. My kids and I, my two younger ones and I, and we're like huge fans. And he hugs me and. Oh, I should have given you that picture. Anyways, I'll find it. And Shamar, and I'm like dying. And my kids are like, stop smiling. Do not tell him. You're not allowed to tell him he's your hall pass. You're not allowed to tell him he's your free pass. And I am like beaming. Like no one's ever seen such a big smile. And he is more gorgeous in person.
No
and
way.
He is like rock solid. Like that hug was my man. It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, that's a long-standing one. Chris Hemsworth now. Maybe Chris Hemsworth now.
Do you sing in the shower?
Say it again.
Do you sing in the shower?
Do I sing in the shower? No.
No?
Because it's usually really early in the morning. It's really early in the morning.
Where do you find time to sing? Like, are you a singer in the car? Do you sing when you clean? What do you do?
You know what happens when you have older kids? They're like, stop, you're embarrassing us. Everything is stop. You're embarrassing us. So they do all the singing now. I do all the dancing, which they still say stop. It's embarrassing us, but I don't care. So the dancing is
your favorite song to dance to. Like it goes on and you hit the dance floor right away. Never fails.
Never fails.
Yeah.
Meatloaf. Paradise by the Dashboard Night Light.
How does that go? I don't even know it.
Oh my God, you don't know this song?
How does it go?
It's the song about that's I'm not gonna sing it for you. It's the one it has the baseball theme on it, first base, second base, going in for a home run. You don't know this song?
No.
Oh.
Sing it
Just
for us.
a little bit of
Paradise by the Dashboard Light. Yeah, I'm not gonna sing it. I can't believe you don't know this. It's embarrassing for you too, really.
Oh.
You're gonna play it and you're gonna get it. It's all about, back in the day, we're going all the way to you got married kind of thing, and it's a song was so popular, and every time you hear it, you got to dance to it because you did all the actions. Like she's like, no, I'm not doing it. Tell me if you want me, if you really, really want me, you got to tell me you're marrying me, kind of thing. But it's a silly song, but it was just so much fun.
And that
you always have to dance.
That's your groove song. I love it.
Yeah, that and anything Beyonce or J-Lo or I don't know, Nathan. What were we dancing to? We danced to everything.
It's more what weren't we dancing to, really?
Yeah, I don't think there was anything we stopped dancing. I just once I started, I don't want to stop dancing.
Yeah.
Tell me the last lie you told Dr. Sapra.
What day is today?
Today's Wednesday. I want a good one. I want a juicy one. And this way we'll know if he watched the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's hard. I'm kind of known for being brutally honest.
Yeah.
I'm a little honest to a fault. I kind of tell it. I don't hide my emotions well. I really don't. If I think you're stupid, I think you're stupid. I just can't take it.
But that's one of the best qualities about you, the fact that you know exactly what you're getting, and anybody that gets to meet you knows 100% this is me, take it or leave it. And it's quite beautiful and authentic in our day. A lot of people aren't.
I think I'm just not good at not telling the truth. Maybe if I was better at it, I would change my ways. But I think I just I lie so poorly, it's not even worth it. I look guilty. I could be thinking of a lie. I look guilty already. So it's
try to pass a lie here and there? Have you caught him in anything?
Oh yeah, too many. No, he's pretty good.
Now we'll know if you watch the show. Let's talk about dinners.
Yeah, let's talk about dinner. So
I love dinner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who's the main chef in the household?
Oh, not me. I'll do dishwashing. I do not cook. I've never cooked. My kids, if they're hungry, they're like, "Where's Dad?" Where's Dad? They don't even ask me. They make fun of me because I'll go, "Do you think that needs a little this?" And they look at me and go, "What do you know? Why do you think you know anything?" It's just had a suggestion. Kind of look like that, and I walk away. I'm gonna keep it. Why would I learn how to cook? I mean, no. Chel's really good at it. He really likes food, and he's really picky. And I have some real foodies in my house, and that's I could eat cereal. When he wasn't home, if he'd be away when the kids were younger, cereal. I'd eat cereal for dinner. I'm comfortable with that. Cereal and a glass of wine, I'm good. I'm okay. And he could never do that. He needs, you never serve salad on the plate you serve dinner in our house. He just never does that. You have to eat things in the way they're supposed to be eaten.
Proper. I like that.
So my next question then, I know the answer to the part of it. You're obviously going to cater for this dinner.
Oh, absolutely.
If you were to invite 3 people to dinner, dead or alive, your catering, we've already worked out your catering. Who would those 3 people be and why?
I think I would love, one of the greatest people I think in history, to me, was Gandhi.
Yeah.
And I think anything I've read, learned, visited places in India, the power of serenity is so much more powerful than any gun, right? And I think he would be somebody I would love to just sit and talk to. I don't think I want anyone else at the table because I think I wouldn't be able to focus. If I'm being honest, I mean, there are so many great people and so many great artists and so many artists that are alive today. But I think what he had was more than that. I think it's not. I think that's what I'd want to learn something, anything, right? That's what I would like.
I love it.
Awesome. So
were these all the questions I was supposed to read?
So
like, would I have had a heads up? If I had read the questions, would I have had a heads up?
You would have had a heads up on that. Yes,
Yeah,
you would have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Note to other people.
Read the
questions.
Yeah. So you live a bit busy lifestyle. I'd love to know what you do in your spare time to wind down and relax.
I'm not okay. So quarantine has, it's forced relaxation. What do I like to do? I think to turn off, really, for me, is probably reading. Reading is my turn off. Like where I'm like I'm calm, I'm quiet, I'm escaped, and I prefer to read over TV. I love to read. It's very rare. It's usually a privilege only for vacation because I get so sucked in to a book. I will stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning and read a book. So that's hard. For the record, I hate working out. All these people who tell you that, good power to them. I do it because I have to do it, but I love finishing working out. That's my pleasure the minute it's done. I always hate doing it. So those are two. What else? My part-time job, the kids will tell you, is construction and design. So I do a lot of construction projects. That's kind of what I do. There's almost always one going on. We built this house 11 years ago, and I can tell you where I saw every single little inspiration in this house. Every room, I'll tell you where that room came from. Either a trip, a ceiling was in the hotel called the Monastery in Peru the day before we went on the Inca Trail. That, like little things like that, that's where I picked the ceiling from. It's like, it's what I love to do. And the office as well. I've done the office and we're just starting another renovation. So that always keeps me busy. So, they'll go to dad if they need some food, but if anything's broke, they'll go to mom. Like, mom, the TV doesn't work. Mom, the electrician, the toaster's broken. Mom, nothing's working. Mom, fix it. Chatella goes, I don't know. The alarm goes off. Chatella goes, I don't know. He just sits there, goes, Chatella, fix it. That's the way our house works.
That's the creative side of you coming out, really, isn't it?
That I love to do. I love to do that. It's fun, and it combines my other big passion in life is travel. That's my big passion. So we, Chatella and I have actually been to every continent. And with the kids, we've been with the younger two. The older three couldn't make some of the trips because they were in school. But we've done all 7 continents, including Antarctica. And that's what we do. We travel. I love to travel. So quarantine's hard because that's, we're usually always on the go somewhere.
Yeah.
So
what do you do when you first wake up in the morning?
Normal life is 5:09. I'm up. Get out of bed by 5:26. 5 seconds dressed out the door to go work out somewhere with my best friend. And then back in the house. So usually what class will start at 5:45 or 6, back in the house by 6:45, 7, usually about 7, and work by 8. So it's just run, go. That's it.
So let's talk more about business now. And this is a question we ask a lot of our guests, and I always love the answers that we get. because we have some really good answers that come from this, and I'm really interested in your point of view from this. But what's one thing in your profession that you wished everyone else knew about that they don't know?
I think the coolest thing about plastic surgery, maybe I don't want anyone to know about it, but do you know what the coolest thing about plastic surgery, and I realized it sort of early, is it's so diverse, like more than any other field. Like, you know, the derms, yeah, they do skin. They do skin. We do skin, we do breasts, we do hands, we do face, we do, you know, body, we do nerves, we do everything. It is the coolest single profession out there, if you ask me. I think there's none better. None better.
It's not surprising to me, listening to all the things you love outside of work, that you're a plastic surgeon, because what's coming across to me in the interview, something I didn't know about you, like when I see you and we've seen each other, you know, mostly professionally, you look to me like a badass that knows what she wants. She has her business in check. She has her skills in check. She knows her game. She delivers it. And if you get in her way, she'll kick you with her good shoes. So,
I hope we don't kick anybody.
Well, maybe some people.
But I don't put up with BS.
And I love that. And I think it's one of the greatest qualities you have. But what I'm seeing about you now, and that's why I love Skinterviews, is there's an artist in you.
Yeah, but I couldn't draw. I think I almost failed art.
Yeah, but it makes
sense
because as an artist performing plastic surgery, that in itself is an art.
Yeah.
And we can't ignore that. It's not just a medicine. And I love what you said, that you get to, you know, work on all parts of the body, because you are literally working on everything from the hands to the breasts to the face, understanding symmetries, and it's changing people's lives.
You know what? It's so much fun. And sometimes the fun are little things. Like, sometimes what you do is so little. I'll give you an example. I had a young girl come in with her father, and she was 18. And when she was 16, she had struggled, and she had slit her wrist, and she had very large scars, horizontal across her wrist. And she goes, they had come from London, Ontario. And she said, you know, they'd been to every plastic surgeon there. They'd been everywhere, and nobody could help them. They said, okay, cut it off and do a skin graft or do whatever. And, you know, I realized that what I needed, like, the dad was in tears. This girl was like, I'm trying to change my life, but I can't, because this is there and I have to explain it to anybody I meet. And I looked at her and said, you don't need a skin graft. What you need is a story. You need a new story. And they're like, what do you mean? I go, we need this scar to have a viable story. I said, this is going to be the dumbest thing I've ever done. I'm going to make it worse. You have 2 straight lines. I'm going to make it a Z. And you can tell any plastic surgeon, anyone, anywhere, that you slipped this weekend, that I do this, and the kitchen knife cut you when you were doing dishes, and I went in there and I explored to look at the tendons, and I fixed the tendons and I closed it up. So I made her scar worse. And I wrapped it up, and I said, I want you to walk around with the bandage big for a week, and I want you to tell the story. And I want you to believe the story. And I want it to be your story. And she came in for, 3-month follow-up. The dad had to pull me aside, and he cried. And you could see it in her. It was the littlest thing I did. I did nothing. The girl was wearing colored clothing, bright clothing with a smile. Like, I was in tears. The number of times I get to be in tears of joy on my job, you know what? Is a lot. And that is a privilege. That is a privilege.
It is a privilege.
So
you do a lot of charitable work. And there's a long history of all the things you've done, and I've read some stuff in bios before. I want you to tell me about what you're going on, because I saw a very cool video the other day. You were cleaning your house, and the next thing you know, you were runway model.
No, well,
I think it was a TikTok.
Okay, you're really, really sweet. Yeah, the kids keep telling me it's a TikTok. I don't know what a TikTok is. The kids keep saying you're trying to do a TikTok. No, I wasn't. I don't know what a TikTok is. What I was trying to do, I loved all these soccer players throwing toilet rolls around. I loved everyone having fun. And I thought, this is getting so dull. Can we do something that's fun? And I want to raise money for charity. So why not force people to have some fun with me and
let's
donate to charity?
Let's look at here all together now.
Okay, you watch. I'm going to drink, okay?
All right. You look amazing.
You're kind. Thank you.
I'm not kind. It's, you know what? Pull up the photo. We have it in the. I think we have the photos in the file. The black man. Look at that. That's how you end the video. You look outstanding. Now,
see, the poor thing is you're missing the shoes.
I know they were, and they have that big bow on the back.
I know, like that. You always start an outfit from the ground up.
Yes. Now tell me where this money goes and how people can get involved with this, because it's more than about the way you look. I could talk about the way you look forever, but
no, you know what? We're just doing the quarantine cleanup challenge. Just where do you want to be when this is done? So where I want to be is I want to be with my girls out for dinner, laughing hysterically. That's what I want to be doing when this is over, because that's what I miss, that camaraderie and just being with my best friend and being stupid and just, you know, just talking. And I miss that connection. So that's where I want to be when this is done. Now, those are my girls. What we do is laugh a lot. And when you laugh with your best friend, you can't do with anybody else. So that's, I'm really, my soul is missing that. It's empty without it. But the charity is, we want to give for COVID relief for healthcare workers, frontline healthcare workers, but not only that, because you know what, I'm really worried about domestic violence, really concerned about that. I want to give to the shelters there because they're getting really overrun with calls, and these women are trapped, and it's scary, and it's scary for the kids. You know, it was, people thought, oh, it's so funny that they left the liquor stores open. Well, there was a reason. You know, they were worried. And we're also going to give to the food banks because there are people who are worried about putting food on the table for their families. And so, you know, Chantel and I have committed to donating, you know, $25,000. We just want everyone to have some fun with us while we do it. So we're saying, look, you gotta do this. So everyone who does it will put another $10 in the pot. We'll keep putting $10 in the pot. So we want, so you two boys are going to do it. So if you want to be out playing soccer with your friends, you want to be, you know, visiting somebody, you want to go for brunch, I don't care. It doesn't have to be glam. You know, Anne Kaplan did it. And of course, spectacular, right? So she did it totally glam because she takes the garbage out dressed like that too. So, you know, she looks amazing.
Yeah, what do you want Skinterviews to do? Because
so we want to look like quarantine when you're not being on a Zoom call. Like, what do you really look like? What do you really look like? And you're not getting dressed in the morning. You're just working on phone calls and stuff. And then what do you want to do on the day that it's okay to go out? So it doesn't matter what that is. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be fancy.
All right. Challenge accepted. Now you brought
Skinterviews one.
Okay, we'll do interview one. You brought up
awesome.
Which is a great pass into my next thing I want to talk about. Sisterhood of the Scalpel.
Yeah.
Anne Kaplan just did a guest spot or is doing one.
Yeah.
Tell me all about the whole concept of this was Sisterhood of the Scalpel.
You know, I've been wanting my blunt honesty thing. I've been told you should do a talk show, you should do a YouTube thing, and I have a lot of good intentions. Life gets in the way. But I got a new partner, and she's young and energetic and amazing, Dr. Miriam Zamani. And so we're the Sisterhood of the Scalpel. And it's just about being honest and not about plastic surgery, about life. And it's about female mentorship and things like that, because that's something that's I lacked when I was going through school. And I once had a surgeon, actually a brilliant young surgeon from Montreal, say to me at a meeting, "Oh my God, I finally got to talk to you." And I went, "Why do you think that? Like, why did you think you could talk to me?" And I was really upset because I said, "That's ridiculous. you're a young woman, you should come to me anytime you want. So I started at the Canadian Society of Aesthetic Plastic Surgery, the women's group. And since then, some very strong surgeons have taken it on at CSPS. And, you know, it's really been a real passion of mine. And so the Sisterhood of Scalpel is about women empowerment. It's about not, I hate when people think that means male bashing, because it doesn't. No, it's about empowering women and mentoring women. You guys do it. Men do it much more than we do. And it's about using that network and just asking questions. And I love it. You know, so we hosted a journal club, and we had, you know, 15 young plastic surgeons there. And I, you know, because I was getting phone calls going, what would you do in this situation? Should I take this leap? And I would take every call I could get, and I would give them my advice for whatever it was worth. What you paid for it? Zero. But I'd be a sounding board. And Miriam kept hearing this, and she goes, why don't we do this? Like, why don't we make this something that we set up the journal club, and why don't we make it formal, and so that we can talk? And it was such a great night, because when we did it, the girls sat there and said, you know, I needed this. I needed to sit and talk to somebody and just ask a question. And how do you do kids? And how do you do breastfeeding? Like it's a stupid question, but somebody's got to answer it. I was joking with you guys earlier that this is longer than my mat leave. Like quarantine, I have not operated for this long since July 1st, 1990, the day I graduated and I started my surgical career. And that's hard. That's hard. So, but those are questions like, how do you breastfeed for a year and still do that? And, you know, it was funny questions like that we got to answer.
So 2 questions before I pass you off to Nathan. First one's a quick one. Where can people catch Sisterhood of the Scalpel?
So we are, if you go to ICLS.ca, we're there. You can also look at us on YouTube, ICLS.ca or Sisterhood of the Scalpel. And we have Sisterhood of the Scalpel is also our Instagram. So you can follow us on any of those. They're all cross-related. So you can find us there anytime you're looking for us. Perfect. So do it. You got to tag us, and then we'll post your pictures, share your pictures, and share with anybody.
And then before I ask you my next question, the challenge for the charity relief, where do we tag ICLS.ca?
Sure. And it's ICLS.ca and as well as Sisterhood of the Scalpel, either or. We'll catch you.
Amazing.
We'll catch you.
Last question before I hand you off to Nathan, we talk about COVID. As being somebody who's a leader in our industry, because you truly are, you've got years of experience, you've trained with the best, you're constantly continuing your own education and your mentorship of others. I want you to express to me something that, and I hate to use the word pisses you off because it sounds like it's a negative connotation, but something, if you had the power to snap and make a change in our industry, what would that be? Or something that really upsets you about the way it's operated or perceived?
You know, for me, it's hard because it's business.
Yeah.
And you've got to run a business. But for me, it's so much more than that. Now, maybe I'm lucky because I have a partner who's the business end of the partnership. So I don't have to focus on that. But I feel like, you know, I love what I do. I love what I do. And when I set it up at the beginning, people think it's about money. And when I set it up at the beginning, I said to Karen, my now clinic director, my first hire, I said, I will never do money, ever. I said, it's me and the patient. And, you know, yes, I understand somebody has to pay somewhere, but I won't do money. And I think the perception that it's all about money is not. And I think we really do help people feel good. And feeling good is, you shouldn't be ashamed of that. You know, I really desperately want to get my hair done so bad. You know, like, I know that's pain. And my nails, like, I know it's pain, but I know I'm a strong woman, but it's like little bits of armor, you know, it gives you that confidence, like a good pair of shoes. Like, it just gives you a little bit more. And I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of. To be a feminist, to be somebody like that, you don't have to be not feminine. And I think the whole industry is, you know, there's a perception that, oh, how shallow, you're a plastic surgeon, how shallow of you, you know. And it's so funny because I don't think it's fair, and I always say the cobbler's children have no shoes. So I don't know which one of these boys I'm ever going to let operate on me. Thank God Miriam's here. At 54, I got to start thinking about these things. But but you know what? It doesn't matter. If you work out, that's your right. You do that. You're doing that to yourself, and if you do it safely. I think you don't have to look fake. You don't have to look like somebody doing it. I don't think you should. I don't think anybody should look like we've worked on them. I think that's a shame. I think that's a real shame. I think that with breasts, I think that with faces, I think that with anything. If you look like you were in my office, I'm sorry, because that's not nice. You shouldn't.
Love that.
Because I'm not going to do that. That's not my angle. I'd rather do less. And I think we all should think like that.
Absolutely. That's great.
Well, I
should have read the questions.
No.
I
I just love your passion. Like, I'm sitting here with goosebumps after every question you answer. It's just unbelievable how passionate and like expressive you are when you talk, and how excited you get when you talk about something that you're so into. It's just amazing. It's a breath of fresh air, especially when we're in isolation, to hear someone like you be so passionate about what you do.
You're not
Very
alone.
lucky.
They're my crush. You stand back.
Yeah, but George, he's taken over. He might even take over for Shamar. He can dance.
Yes.
There's nothing sexier than a boy who can dance.
Listen,
That's all I'm going to say. Who can make you feel like you can dance. 2 points for that one.
I like you both, but I drop you both for some Shamar. No offense.
This girl's my dance partner in Mexico, so we go back. We go back a long way. So let's talk about COVID. Firstly, I'd like to talk about how it impacted you personally when it first started.
So COVID's been really hard on my family. I lost my uncle 4 weeks ago in India. 70 years old, very healthy, commander of the in the Air Force, retired, and pneumonia over 5 days. The testing wasn't great. We're pretty sure it was COVID, and there was no other reason for it. He was well and healthy otherwise. That was very, very sad. March 4th, my sister adopted a beautiful baby girl. My sister lives in California, and I very luckily went that weekend. She kept saying, don't come, don't come. It's not official till Monday. I said, I don't care, I'm coming. I'm so glad I went because we couldn't go after that. And it's been really hard. My mom was there with her at that time and stayed for a few weeks, but then she had to come back. My poor dad hasn't seen this baby, and this poor baby hasn't been attacked by her entire family, which she needs to be attacked by the entire family. So that's really sad. And then tragically, we lost my 17-year-old nephew in a car accident a few weeks ago. And so my cousin's sister is in San Diego, and it's hard. It's hard to hug somebody this way and to be there. So it's been COVID has been horrid. I mean, and I was kind of joking, plastic surgery is not what I do, it is who I am, and it's taken that away from me, and it's taken firm handshakes. I'm known for firm handshakes. I've always been like that. It's taken away smiling, which is hidden behind a mask. It's going to be weird. It's going to be redefining. It's definitely going to be redefining. So I'm really grateful. I really want to get back to operating. Give me something back. So I'd like to do that.
I'm so sorry.
It's been difficult.
Uncle and your nephew. We'll try and perk things up a little bit here.
Yeah.
So I'll let George take over to perk things up. Maybe we go to the quick fire questions, George.
I want to say that I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I think
Thank you. I didn't want to be a downer, but
no.
it's important.
It's the reality, you know. People have lost weddings, people have lost loved ones, and it's a horrible way to grieve. Even like it's really so, you know, really reach out to those people because it's really hard. It's really hard.
I think it's important that we connect with all our loved ones, especially this time in whatever way we can. I think that's the first time I've actually teared up a bit on the show here, Nathan.
Yeah.
My condolences to your family, and you know what? My condolences to anybody that's been affected by COVID, whether it's as simple as losing someone or as simple as you know, losing a job to as simple as losing a physical being. You know, it's not an easy time for anybody. So I love all the initiatives that you've got going on. I want to remind everybody that if you do the cleanup challenge after the video you saw, I want you to tag ICLS CA, which is their Instagram, at Sisterhood of the Scalpel, which is the Instagram. You can see it on the screen right now. Of course, you can always visit icls.ca to learn more about Dr. Julie Khanna. And of course, her husband, who we mentioned many times. He's her husband, not the other way around.
Thank you. Thank you. I went first. That's fair.
Yes. We're getting to the end of our interview. At this point, we usually do quick fire questions. We want you to answer as quickly as possible, not put a lot into it. And tell me when you're ready.
Go.
Red or blue?
Blue.
Black or white?
Black.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Italian food or Chinese food?
Italian.
Mexican or Indian?
Oh, come on. Indian. But I love Mexican. Happy Cinco de Mayo, slightly delayed.
There you go. Stuck in isolation for 12 more weeks. You can only take one skincare product. What do you take?
One skincare product, sunscreen, because I'm going to be on a beach this time.
Vodka or wine?
That depends on my mood, baby. Champagne. You should have put champagne. Always champagne.
Always champagne.
Always champagne. That's the answer to that one.
Burgers or pasta?
I'm vegetarian, so a really awesome veggie burger I love.
A veggie burger is really good. Okay, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Nathan or me?
Tied. No, but Nathan is my dancing partner, so he has to win. I'm sorry.
Yes! Yes!
Sorry, George.
You broke
sorry, but that
right
was like really like I can't betray him. I can't betray him. I need him. I need him at the next party.
I needed that. My dance moves here.
I needed that because I was getting bullied in these Nathan and George.
I know, because we all know George for so long. But no, I'm gonna have to give a fair vote for Nathan.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know what? I love Nathan a lot, so it's okay. I forgive it. Nathan's got 2 more questions for you before we close today's show.
Absolutely.
So we're called Skinterviews, so we always like to tie it in at the end why we're called Skinterviews. So I'd love to hear your current skin routine.
So when you're Indian and greasy, you tend to have more greasy skin. So a good wash, exfoliating wash. And I'm like the queen of one little vial from every company. so that I'm equal partnership with everybody. So I think I have a Neocutis exfoliating wash that I love.
Yep.
And then there's like this Brilliance bar that's such a nice clean feeling on my skin. I love that. So I have that in the shower.
Who's the Brilliance bar?
PSA.
PSA?
Yeah.
PSA.
PSA. I'm really bad at this.
We got you covered.
Then what else do I use? Disco D. And discoloration defense. Universe Skin. My Sun Science. That's probably my favorite product that there is. The Powder 50. Yeah. Love that. Love that above all. That's why I would take it with me into quarantine. And I think those are my big ones. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, that's
those are my go-tos.
Yeah.
Those are my go-tos. And HA. I actually like the HA intensifier too.
Amazing.
Awesome.
So then the last question we always ask every guest before I hand it over to George to close the show is, who would you like us to interview on the show next? And can you help us get that person on?
So it depends on what you want to do. You probably already got him. Did you already get Arthur?
No.
Arthur Swift.
Arthur Swift. That's the one.
He's pretty awesome and hilarious. and hilarious.
And you can help
And hilarious. Yeah. And you know what? I would say Anne.
And
Yeah.
Kaplan?
Yeah, we would love to get
She's
on the
so spectacular.
Yeah.
She's so
Okay.
spectacular. And she's such a mentor, such a great friend to have. Very privileged to have her.
Yeah, we'll reach out to you after the show to try and organize that.
Absolutely.
Before I hand it over to George, I would just like to say a huge thank you. You're amazing. You brought so much energy to the show
You're
tonight.
so kind.
You bring so much energy to life in general, and I love you for it. Keep doing what you're doing because you're an amazing person, and I'll let George take it away.
You mentioned Anne Kaplan being a privilege, and as a friend, I want to say it's been a privilege to have you on our show, and I mean that wholeheartedly. And I want to say thank you for being here. I want everybody that wants to get in contact with Dr. Julie Khanna and ICLS Dermatology and Plastic Surgery. All you got to do is you got to head over to ICLS.ca. Make sure to follow them on their Instagram. Make sure to follow them on all social media platforms, including their YouTube page, because that's where they post longer and full videos. But you can definitely catch snippets of them on Instagram at ICLS.ca. And of course, women supporting women, women mentoring women, women raising other women up.
No, we'll mentor anybody.
Anybody.
We believe in everybody. We believe in everybody.
A better world if men were mentored more by women. I say that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Again, at Sisterhood of the Scalpel is where you need to go. Support them. Get involved in those charities. We're going to show you details of our little cleanup challenge when we get to it.
Can't wait. I can't wait.
I want to thank you again, Julie, for being here. And I can't wait to have Chantal on the show. And I would have loved to have you guys when we do season 2 in a couple series. If we can find some time, I know by then you'll be a lot more busier. But if we can get you guys on the show at the same time, I think it would be a riot.
I might crash his, so we'll see.
Absolutely. I'm totally.
We would love that.
Thank you
I just might.
Julie, have a wonderful evening. Everyone,
thank you for having me, guys.
We love you. Stay home. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Kiss your families. Hug the people that you have contact with. And we all wait for that moment when we can get out of isolation and hug our dear friends and all our loved ones. As you heard tonight, COVID is something very serious that's affecting us in many different ways and many different families around the world. So please respect the guidelines. Stay home. Let's flatten that curve and let's get out of this on the other side, all healthy and safe, and find that time again when we can go out and be the best version of ourselves. Thank you and have a wonderful night. Ciao.